What is up, guys, gals, and non-binary pals? My name's Naomi. Welcome to House of Miscellania. Today I'm coming at you with a WIP and chat. WIP stands for work in progress, and I'm going to chat at you for a little while. If you are just joining me for the first time, welcome, welcome, welcome. So good to see you. If you are coming back to see me, welcome back. You're looking awesome, and I have so much to talk to you about today. So WIP and chats usually, they're treated sort of like, they can be treated like a podcast, or maybe, while I'm working on my diamond painting, you're working on your diamond painting, whatever it happens to be. But let's work on this together. I'm going to talk to you about my tools first. Pretty much going to be the same as usual with a couple of exceptions. I am using my Black Wolf Woodworks pen, Black Wolf Woodworking, pen. It's got wheat up here in the top and some dried cactus down here at the bottom. It's a cholla cactus. Thank you, Marissa. But I absolutely love this pen. It's because it's thick down at the bottom, and I use the multi-placer, both as a multi-placer and a single placer. Anyways, I'm using this. Today I'm actually using one of the old Diamond Art Club little trays. The reason for that is I am working on Deep from Distracted by Diamonds, and it is actually a round kit with acrylic drills. And for whatever reason, acrylic drills do not like to shake out in, say, a firefly or a butterfly effect wears. I mean, I could try the butterfly. Meh. I'm just going to stick with the Diamond Art Club little tray from their old now kits. Because their new kits have a different little shebang about it. I am using Patty Wax. And in honor of the Patty Wax diamond painting here, because Distracted by Diamonds is actually from Patty Wax. This is their Patty Wax Super Sticky. I'm going to fill up my pen real quick with some of this here. You basically just take your wax. It's hard on the top, so you're going to need to do a little scrapey. I've already got a little nugget in there from the last scraping I did, so I'm just going to grab at that little nugget. You soften it down and you push it into the pen. Kind of get any excess off of the edges. Oh, it's dark up here, guys. Sorry. If there's excess on the end, you just kind of want to, rub that off of there. And you just want it to be flat on the top. You don't want any sticking out of the top. And then I am using a thin metal multi-placer from Diamond Art Club. I love their thin metal multi-placers, as well as the Diamond Art Club putty, because believe it or not, I really actually, you know what? I'm going to switch over. I want to use some of my Butterfly Effectwares putty, because I have noticed that this stickier putty from Diamond Art Club and the acrylic drills, it has been a little bit tricky, so I'm going to go ahead and take off the putty from the top. I always leave the bottom of the reservoir full because you're only using the top half. You know what I'm saying? I am using Butterfly Effectwares Lucky Clover ... putty. Smells like Lucky Charms. Oh my gosh, it's so good, you guys. And it's green. I love that stuff. But I'm going to use a little bit of this, and then let's get right into it. I will be getting to the Healing with the Fairies Oracle cards when I talk a little bit more about mental health and get into that portion of the WIP and chat. Typically with my WIP and chats, for those who are new, I kind of catch people up on what's going on with me. And then for the end, or second half, I talk about mental health, various topics. And I usually let the Healing with the Fairies cards, well, I say usually, the last couple of times, I've let the Healing with the Fairies Oracle cards kind of guide where I'm going with it and how it relates to mental health. So we will see where the road takes us. But let us get right into it. I am working on Deep from Distracted by Diamonds. As I mentioned, I just kitted this up today, so I'm just moving right along, left to right, like I always do. And yeah, let's get into it. By the time that you are watching this, you guys, I am probably still in the car and on my way to Door County in Wisconsin. Dustin surprised me by letting me know that for my sober birthday, this is my 5th anniversary, higher power willing, on the 6th of July this month, I will hit 5 years of sobriety. It's really, really huge. I have not really spoken on my sobriety journey, like my story exactly. I haven't talked about that yet, and I'm not ready to. But I promise that at some point I will talk a little more about my actual journey, how I got to where I am, where I was, all of it. But for now, suffice it to say that I am incredibly grateful to each and every person along the way who has aided me in my sobriety journey. I could not have done it without my good friends and my family. Their support has been immensurate. I think that's the right word. Either way, unmeasurable, just highly important to me in every way possible. You know who you are, or at least you should. Thank you for accepting me. Thank you for believing in me and challenging me to challenge myself. 5 years is a huge deal. And anybody who's even celebrating their first day of sobriety, it's a huge deal. And 5 years may feel like it's forever and ever away, but you get there. You get there literally one day at a time. So, just very, very grateful. But, as I was saying, my husband and I are going to go to Door County, and we are going to get away, celebrate my sobriety, see some really cool fireworks. I'm going to take some pictures to bring back to you guys and show you. It is going to be amazing. Just so stoked, beyond stoked. This will be our 3rd time back to Door County, and we keep going back because they have some of the most gorgeous state parks. One in particular is called Newport State Park, and it is an international dark sky park, which means that you go there, and because literally you're on Lake Michigan, where that's at, and so you can't see light pollution out where that's at. So at nighttime, if it's clear enough, you can see the Milky Way. You can see every star in the sky. It makes you feel about this big because you are tiny compared to the universe, but it's a good place to go and just get a perspective. You know what I mean? It's like any time that I feel like my problems are vast, I think about the vastness of space and really how small those things should be, because ultimately they are, right? That's not to say that my problems are small, but if I treat them in that way, they can feel that they are smaller, you know? But we're going up there for 3 days. We're going to go from Wednesday to Friday. So we'll be staying Wednesday night, Thursday night, hanging out on Friday, and then driving back up Friday evening. It's about 4 hours away from home. So not like terribly, terribly far away. If there was some massive emergency, we would be able to get back here pretty quickly. But we are taking Beans with us. We did last year too, because we found a pet-friendly location where we can take him, and he can be with us because he has some pretty bad separation anxiety, and the kids would be fine, I'm sure, if we left him, but they'd prefer it if we don't, because then they don't have to deal with him when he's pitching fits and being a little butt. Today, I took a nap, and when I woke up, my oldest had literally scrubbed the upstairs bathroom. Like it, ooh, popped some drills. It looks fantastic. I was so grateful. She mentioned something about, getting the house clean while we're gone. And I would be floored if the kids had the house cleaned up before we get back. Just because it's been a lot, you guys, to have essentially 5 adults living on top of each other and in the same space. It's a lot. And we can get agitated with each other and whatnot. But I found out that it's like a week before they decided that they were going to go, that my son and his significant other are going to go to Kansas to visit with, excuse me, his significant other's father. And they're going to stay there for a month. I don't know what I'm going to do with myself, honestly. To have the house basically to myself during the day, I will be able to film so much content. I'm just blown away. I wanted to do a post review before I left. Not a post review, a month in review before I left, but I think I'm just going to have to post that a little bit into July. So I apologize for not having that out immediately, but I was like filming so many things that the month in review kind of came in a little bit on the late side for priority. But there's going to be content while I'm gone. I will not be here for the Thursday live for Twitch, so I do apologize to anybody who was kind of hoping to go to the Twitch, but I'm not going to be back by then. So, whoop, missed one. So I'm really sorry, but I'm going to be out in the woods somewhere enjoying myself. Or watching a gorgeous sunset. That place has some of the most just stunning sunsets I've ever seen in my whole life. Because you're watching the sunset over the lake. And the lake is vast, it's clear, it's clean, it's gorgeous. I cannot tell you how much I need this particular just decompression. I can't. I'm going to have a hard time sleeping tonight because we're getting up really early in the morning and leaving right away in the morning. So if I sleep tonight, as I'm filming this, it's Tuesday. It's actually technically early Wednesday morning because, again, I wait until everybody in the house is sleeping before I record. So it's early Wednesday morning, but Tuesday night, really. I haven't slept yet, so, but I don't know if I'm going to be able to sleep. I might have to sleep in the car, I guess, because I'm just too darn excited, really. And I feel like this will be our son's first time away from home, like, and away from our state and all of that for his whole life, really. So they're taking a Greyhound bus, and they're gonna ride the Greyhound to Kansas, and then I guess my father-in-law is going to meet them in Kansas and with a flatbed and bring my son's significant other, sorry, adjusting my chair, his significant other's car back with them. So it'll be nice for there to be a vehicle for them to use instead of me having to be asked for rides and stuff like that. I mean, not that it's a huge deal to be asked, but, you know, I don't always feel like taking somebody to a gas station or running somebody to the store or whatever. So it's it'll be a nice change, I think. I'm looking forward to it. But my oldest, Aurora, she's going to be home. The kids will still be here while we're gone, and then they're going to leave the weekend after we get back. So we're getting back Friday. I guess they're leaving Sunday, I think. I'm giving him a ride to the bus station. Now, normally, my son has been just really anxious about being out of the house, being away from the house. Like, he's always had anxiety issues. So it'll be interesting to see how this goes for him, his first real trip away from home. So, and he's an adult now, so he should be taking more trips away from home and doing more that he wants to do for himself, you know. I think it's a great idea. I'm always proud of the big steps, even when they're scary, that my kids take, because I know those steps, whether baby steps or big steps, can be really nerve-wracking. Really, really nerve-wracking. So, excuse me. Very proud. Very, very proud. I have a project that I am planning. A couple, in fact. So when I get back from our trip, the first thing that I'm going to be able to do is I'm going to be able to go get at those blanks that I made. Oh, I didn't even tell you about the blanks. Oh my gosh. I went over to my in-laws, and I am officially making a House of Miscellania pen. Okay? I'm going to make 5 to start with. There'll be special pen colors for the channel. Just ones that I feel like match the channel the best. I'm going to pop some photos up for you guys so you can see the colors that I chose. I went with a really darkish purple. I think that is just lovely. It's a pearlescent, like it has a pearl mica in it. Excuse me. And then I'm going with a sort of a teal blue green. And then there's a really beautiful pink, as well as like a green mother of pearl looking white. And I put all 4 colors into, they're these PVC molds that I made, but I got some molds from some of the Dazzler community. I'm going to do a friend mail, so I'm not going to talk too much about that now, but they sent me some actual molds that I'll be using. However, these, I'm showing you a picture here. These PVC pipes, they're 1 inch round, and then you pour the resin into it. It's a trick that my father-in-law showed me, and so I'll have a round blank to start with once I go over there and take them out of the PVC. Now, I did put a mold release in there before any of you think like, well, how in the heck are you going to get it out of there? Well, I could, if I wanted to, I could turn that PVC right off of the blank and just use it that way. But if I want to reuse it, then, you know, you put mold release in it, and then once you've let it fully dry and cure, you will kind of bang it out of the PVC pipe. So looking forward to that. I think they're just gonna turn out really well. I have a feeling. One of the blanks that's pictured is actually a blank for someone who made a special request. And I'm going to hopefully have something really, really pretty for her to look at very well, very quickly, I'm hoping. But I am just super excited to get started on that. Massive, 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 because, you know, if I feel like these look good enough and that I'm proud of them enough, I would even be comfortable selling them. So I don't want to count my chickens before they're hatched. I want to make sure that they look good, that they're going to turn well before I, you know, go trying to sell too much of anything. But for now, if you were maybe interested in buying one of these 5, the first place that these are going to be made available is on the Discord. So if you have not yet joined the Discord for our community, you should definitely do that, because that is where you're going to see them show up. So be aware of that. Not sure exactly how they will get sold on Discord or whatever, but we'll figure it out. We always do. But I am incredibly excited. I don't know if you guys remember with this kit in particular, but this was one that was in voting earlier in the year, and the one that won the voting was the mystery kit from Jaded Gem Shop. I wanted to work on more small shop pieces, and so I have begun to incorporate some more of those small shops into my works in progress. So, so far, you guys, I have to say, I really think that this is beautiful from Distracted by Diamonds. If I have one gripe, I guess it would be that the colors that I expected to see are actually, like, on the render, are not the colors that you actually get. It's much brighter than that. So, you know, this sort of pale green is turning out to be a very bright green, and so on. So, I just wanted to get this one added in because, one, it's a beautiful kit by Distracted by Diamonds. Now, I will mention that this kit is not available as of this recording. I purchased this back at the beginning of the year, and Distracted by Diamonds, or Patty Wax if you're looking for them on Etsy, they don't actually sell what they don't have ready to ship. So if you're getting something from a specific artist, or you see something from a specific artist pop up, you should buy it, because I feel like, aside from, you know, the weird color issue, gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. Pick yourself up a Distracted by Diamonds kit. Now, I will mention that it does appear as though for their round drills that they use acrylic. So be aware of that. I'm not sure if they use resin or acrylic for their squares, but when I do an unboxing of my next Distracted by Diamonds kit, I will try and bring that up. Because I know that is wildly important to some people, that the render is like perfectly matched to the drills. And I mean, for me, as long as it looks good at the end of it, I really don't have anything to complain about, you know. So aside from that, I am, all right, so I talked about vacation, I talked about pen turning, talked about sobriety, talked about my Distracted by Diamonds kit. Oh, I see I missed a couple right there. I am also walking still every day. It works out to about, I would say something like 4 miles a day that I'm walking. It's really easy cardio to just walk. And so it's low impact. I'm not really hurting myself by walking. You know, I prefer it as a method of getting around. So that's just the way that I decide to exercise, is by walking. I highly recommend it only because, you know, you're less likely to hurt yourself if you're just walking. Whereas, you know, if you're dead squatting, you know, 6,000 pounds or something, like, you're going to hurt yourself. So be aware of that. All that said, I think that the walking is good for not just me, but Beans as well. He goes along with me, and, you know, he flops his silly self on the ground and refuses to get up. That happens quite a bit. Pyrenees are very headstrong in that, like, when they feel like they're done walking, I guess you're done walking for a little while until they're ready to get back up. There have even been times where, like, Dustin has called me while he's been on a walk with Beans, and he'll have me come pick him up because, you know, Beans flopped 100 yards from the car or whatever. Or even further sometimes. My husband's called me from blocks and blocks and blocks away from our house, and Beans has decided to flop in the grass and not get back up. So, very, very, very funny stuff. Anyways, what's new with you guys? What have you been up to? Are you doing everything that you hoped you would be doing this week? And do you have big plans for the weekend? Do you got anything? And I know the weekend's a ways off, but as I am in vacation brain right now, the weekend is basically here for me. You know what I mean? But do you have any big plans for the week? Are you going anywhere fun this week? I know 4th of July is coming up. I do feel bad for those who have PTSD that is related to fireworks, as I spoke about in my last whip and chat. You know, that would devastate me. But, oof. Oh, found a color. There we go. This kit really is gorgeous, you guys. I honestly, no complaints. Nothing so far. I know it's early days, but I'm loving it. I really, really am. I don't know. I can't see yet what it's looking like in the viewfinder, but from the distance that I'm looking at it, even, it still looks really phenomenal. Even just to sit back and admire it, it's been amazing to just get started on it. I'm so happy. So happy. And, you know, honestly, I'm not bothered by acrylic drills, so no complaints there from me. But I do want to do a couple of things. One is to pull out one of the Healing with the Fairies Oracle cards, talk about that topic, and then there was one other thing that I wanted to talk about, and actually, maybe I should talk about it first before I pull a card, just because I want to make sure that I'm heard and understood, and that, you know, I'm not out here putting both feet in my mouth, because I'm good at doing that, right? So let me start by saying that during these, like, mental health portions that I talk about, I am by no means a therapist or a medical professional, and if you're facing issues, really, really serious issues, you should definitely see somebody. But when I do these whip and chats, I talk about a lot of stuff, right? I talk about a lot of things to do with mental health, and while I am not a therapist, one thing that I do end up talking about, and maybe I feel like it might have come off as discouraging, and I definitely would like to clarify and clear that up. And that is the subject of medication. Now, I've had some really strange experiences in my lifetime in regards to medications, specifically for chemical imbalances and things of that nature. Now, I've been told for the longest time that I was bipolar, that I had this, and this issue, that's why I was dealing with, behaviors, is because I'm bipolar, and so therefore I'm going to act out in whatever ways I act out because of it. There have been some misdiagnoses that I've dealt with over time, the bipolar disorder being one of them, and then finding out that I'm autistic has really answered a lot of those questions that I had. And when it comes to a chemical imbalance, such as bipolar disorder can cause, taking certain medications can actually be detrimental to your growth. It can be detrimental to some of the behaviors that you have from autism, or stims or whatnot. Now, how do I approach this? I do not want anyone to think that I am in any way against medications. When they are prescribed properly, medications for those with chemical imbalances can be the difference between life and death. So if you are on a medication and, maybe you're experiencing what I was experiencing, which is like, I wasn't dreaming. I would end up laying in my bed trying to remember what I had dreamt, and then remembering that I need my dreams to be able to cope with what happens throughout my day, and not dreaming does not allow my subconscious to really deal with my crap, okay? Now, because of the misdiagnosis of bipolar instead of autistic, obviously my issues were dealt with in a way that, probably they shouldn't have been. I need everybody to understand that medication is vital for those who need it to receive the relief from crippling depression or massive amounts of anxiety. And unfortunately, that wasn't something that I needed because I do not have a chemical imbalance. And so to treat a person without chemical imbalance as if they have chemical imbalance, it can wreak havoc on what you actually have going on. And so I wanted to clarify that I am not anti-medication. If you need medication, please take your medication. It can mean life or death for you. Now, that's not the case for me, but I'm not everybody. And my opinion in these things really matters very little. So I would just say, make sure you know what's really going on with you. Have extensive testing done. Make sure that what you are being told is your issue is actually your issue. Just make sure that if you are in need of those medications, that you are taking them as prescribed, that if you are not going to be taking a medication, that you titrate down or step down very slowly and carefully, and always under the supervision of a doctor or a licensed psychiatrist, because you can really hurt yourself in just taking yourself off of medications too fast. So please, please, please note that even though I may have said things in the past that made it sound like I'm somehow anti-medication, I'm not. I just ended up with a parent who was said to have specific mental health conditions, and I watched her get essentially snowed with medications that were too much and too many. There's monsters everywhere looking to take advantage of people, and if you're not comfortable with talking to your doctor about the side effects that you may be having from your medications, or your psychiatrist, you gotta talk to somebody about it, because it's possible that the thing that you were hoping was going to be kind of like a miracle cure for you really isn't, and then you get yourself in a bit of a pickle. That said, for those who need medication, there is literally no shame in needing a medication to level out the chemistry in your brain that is clearly, I hesitate to say defective, because you're not defective. You just think and plot and plan differently. No. Really? Come on, drill. There's one drill in here that won't come out. There we go. There we go. Now on to the next portion that I wanted to talk about. Since I've addressed the medication issue, and I want you to know that I fully support taking medications when they're prescribed and as prescribed, and really getting to feel better about yourself. Now, I want to pull out these healing with the Fairies Oracle cards so we can get on to the next portion, talking about mental health. And yes, I know I already started talking about mental health, but this is going to give me kind of a topic to go off of now that I've already talked about medications. So let's take a look. I'd already shuffled these. These are ready for me, okay? Oh, here we go. Oh, it's kindness. Yes. You know, let me read the little description in here really quickly about kindness, and then we'll get into it, okay? All right, it says, card meaning, practice kindness in all your thoughts and deeds today, towards yourself, other people, animals, and the environment, and watch the rewards that come your way. We often refer to kindness as thoughtfulness, yet kindness is more correctly described as lovefulness. By drawing this card, the fairies hand you the wonderful assignment of looking for opportunities to be kind today. This may mean undercover kindness, in which you do anonymous good deeds, or it could mean being extra alert for strangers who could use a helpful hand or a thoughtful word. Kindness can also entail letting someone else win the argument or volunteering. I think that's what saved us, you know, in our lives, is letting somebody else win the argument. Dustin and I are kind to each other in that way sometimes, just letting somebody else win the argument. It's easier to be kind than to be right, you know. By paying attention to the implications of every thought and action, you begin to develop a kindness habit. Your new energy of kindness attracts new loving friends into your sphere. As you practice kindness towards animals, plants, and the environment, you develop a closer relationship with nature. Most important, when you are particularly kind toward yourself, by thinking about yourself compassionately and taking time out for yourself, you are rewarding with a deep sense of inner satisfaction or truth. All right. It says, affirmation: I am kind, thoughtful, and loving to myself and others. All right. I love this card. I could talk at length about kindness and honestly just the benefits to your own mental health by being kind. That whole letting somebody else win the argument, I mean, it could really fix a problem that you didn't even know that you were having just by letting somebody win the argument. And they might see you as more flexible and be willing to be kinder to you when it's their time around. Now, are there going to be jerks in the world? Of course. There's a lot of nastiness in this world. And I feel like for your mental health, there are some things that you can do today that can really help you to be kinder. I'm not going to get into the reasoning behind why kindness is so important. I think we all know. We understand, too, what the opposite of kindness can feel like to us. And so I want to make sure that, you know, we understand what that is about, but that we don't need to harp on what the opposite of kindness is, right? Cruelty. Because I'd like to think that none of us are cruel on purpose, but that we don't check ourselves fast enough when we are being cruel. We'll say things about each other or ourselves or others that are unkind, and we don't take the time to check that language, to stop being cruel to ourselves. I have a rule, and I've been kind of using this out there in the world, and I've probably brought this rule up with you guys before, but it bears repeating, okay? Because I want you to do this too. I think you're gonna find that employing this into your life with your group of friends will improve your moods and your lives drastically when dealing with your own self-saboteur, okay? The rule is that, one, if you diss on yourself, or if you deflect a compliment that is given to you, meaning like somebody says, oh, you've got really great hair, and you're like, no, I don't. Ugh, it's so stringy and that. When you're negging someone who is trying to give you a compliment, that person should call you out, because what they're going to have you do is they're going to have you give 3 compliments about yourself. Shouldn't be physical, like, you know, the stuff that, I mean, we can't control our physicality, right? Like, oh, well, I've got great calves. I mean, okay, if you're that proud of your calves, I guess go ahead and celebrate those babies, because I don't. But that's just because the way I'm built is different. It doesn't mean that they're not good or bad. See, now I did it to myself. Well, listen, no. I wasn't trying to, like, dog on myself. I was just saying that, like, my calves are different than other people's calves because I'm built skinny in the legs, right? That's not a bad thing. It just is a fact. That's just a point about me, right? But really, it shouldn't be about physical things. It should be about you know, other things. However, if you're going to say nice things about yourself physically, I'm not going to stop you, okay? But whenever you are caught either negging yourself or negging someone's compliment for you, you need to, that person should call you out and say, okay, you owe me 3. And then you would immediately give 3 compliments about yourself. One thing I've learned employing this rule into my life is that when someone compliments me, I've learned to just be quiet and say thank you. Not to argue, not to say, no, I don't. One, because I don't want to make somebody feel like they're dumb because they're, you know, not, they don't know what they're talking about or whatever, and they complimented me and now I'm telling them they're wrong, right? The other thing that it does, I feel like sometimes, is it makes you look like you're fishing for compliments. And that's probably not even the case, you know? You're probably just feeling some type of way about yourself and you are having a hard time. I'm terrible at accepting compliments, you guys. It makes me uncomfortable and like itchy under my collar, like the whole thing. So, one, be kinder to yourself, okay? That's one thing you can do today, and that's a way you can do it. Is when you're caught up in dogging on yourself or not accepting compliments, now you got to compliment yourself. Okay. Another way that you can be kinder today is to smile at strangers. Seriously. Whenever you're walking past somebody, just give them a smile. It takes nothing out of your life, and you will probably make someone else's day just by giving them a smile. You would not believe how often just someone smiling back at me has changed my mood drastically, to the point where that crappiness that I was feeling about myself, completely gone. The other thing that you can do is to compliment someone. Now, women are really, really bad at complimenting each other. But it would be so great if more often, if someone thought that I looked nice today, if they said out loud, you look really nice today. And I really do try to compliment others if I think they look nice. I'm not just going to blow smoke up somebody's butt by making some crap up just to make somebody feel better. But if I really think that they look nice, I'm going to give them a genuine compliment. I'm going to say, you look really nice today. So just pay someone a compliment today and make their life a little better. Hold the door open, right? Small acts of courtesy like that go a really long way. You could listen actively. That's a way to be kinder. Instead of speaking and speaking and speaking and speaking about you and your problems in your life, just stop for a minute and just listen. Just listen to what the others around you are saying about their own struggles and really hear them out. We all want to be heard. We all want to be listened to. So, hear them out. Send a thoughtful message to somebody out of the blue. Write a text message to a friend or a family member. You know, you are the most important friend in my life, and I'm thinking about you today. I want to see just a whole bunch of messages going out to people, saying really kind and thoughtful things. Check on people, see how they're doing. You know what I mean? But reach out to somebody you haven't spoken to in a while. Helping with chores. Oh my gosh, some people's love language is gestures. And even just offering to help someone with their dishes. Now, another thing that you can do is donate to a charity. Give to a cause that you really care about, whatever that cause happens to be. If you want to boost your mental health, volunteering your time, helping somebody in your community, or going to your local humane society or animal shelter and donating some time there. Is it going to be a little heartbreaking? Yes, but that volunteering work will do wonders for your mental health. Seriously. Paying it forward. Pay for somebody's coffee when you're in line at the Starbucks. You know, say, hey, I'm going to pay for the cup of coffee behind me and the one behind them, or whatever. If you can't afford that, totally fine. Just do something as a gesture for a human being today. Another way that you can be kinder today is to offer your seat up to somebody if you're on a bus or a train. Give a genuine thank you to someone. Showing appreciation to those you love. Offering encouragement. Running an errand for somebody. Oh my God, being kind online. Just be kinder online. There's so much ugly out there, you guys. And it just takes a second to acknowledge someone else's point of view, that it might be different from yours. You know, another thing that you can do, besides just being kinder online, is to take the time to listen to someone's story. Now, every one of you that has stopped to listen to my stories, you don't know what that does. And not for ego. I don't mean ego. I just mean my psyche. The fact that I know that people find my story worthwhile. I want to see some more of allowing people to be who they are, sharing their experiences and their feelings, and without threat of judgment from someone, that they'll be judged harshly and they'll never want to share again. Be kind to one another. And then be patient, right? You guys, I really feel like small acts of kindness can have a ripple effect, and you can spread positivity literally throughout the world, and it starts with you throwing the first stone. And I don't mean in the glass house. I mean just throwing that first stone of kindness into the pool and watching it ripple out toward other people. Take care of you today. Take care of your neighbors. Take care of your friends. And as ever, I hope that wherever you are in this great, big, beautiful world, that you are having a wonderful morning, evening, or afternoon, whatever time it is, wherever you are. I'll see you next time, you guys. Much love. Bye-bye.